What's up, YouTube? It's Mike with FCY Comics 216. I got another book review coming at you guys. As you can see in front of me, I have the first issue of the new Venom run. This is the Al Ewing and the Ram V Venom run. Those are the two authors actually on this book. Kind of a cool concept they have going. They have one author writing one character and another author writing a different character, and these two characters are Eddie Brock and Dylan, his son. So this book, it's coming right. It basically picks up where Venom 200 and Extreme Carnage kind of left off, with Eddie being the new King of Black, King of the Symbiotes. After that whole thing with Null, I'm not going to get into that too much. If you guys want to look into that, you can. But the whole Null being the old King in Black, and now Eddie having the King in Black powers and being the new King of the Symbiotes. Like I said, two authors on this book. Artist is Brian Hitch. Obviously, the previous author was Donny Cates, which if you guys have read that run of Venom, I'm sure you liked it. I liked it a lot too. So this is basically picking up from that. And we see at the beginning of this book, just for a quick overview, Eddie's basically in space with a bunch of symbiotes, and he's basically telling people that he wants the symbiotes to be viewed in a different way now that he is the king of the symbiotes. He wants them to be viewed as the heroes, more or less. He doesn't want them to be, or categorized as like the bad guys or the villains. He wants them to be heroes. So we see them, they're flying through space, and they get a distress signal from a spaceship, and they go see what it is, and they see that there's some pirates that have boarded the spaceship. It's like a transport vessel for like medicine and food and something. So they go see what that's all about, and it's Eddie with a couple other symbiotes that he brings with him, like a little task force or whatever of symbiotes, and they go try and help the ship out. And while they're in there, they find the pirates. And they don't find any civilians. They figure out the civilians are in an escape pod, and the pirates have basically disabled the escape pod from taking off. And we see one of the symbiotes that Eddie is brought with him throughout the issue. You'll see that he has red eyes. There's something off about him. He has red eyes. And turns out that this symbiote is not who he seems. And we don't know exactly who he is. But basically, this symbiote kind of goes rogue and kills all the civilians on this ship that they were trying to save, and basically tells Eddie that his time as the king of the symbiotes, the King in Black, is coming to an end, and basically tells him, say your goodbyes. You're basically going to die. He threatens his son Dylan, and that's where that kind of leaves off, and then the symbiote just kind of disintegrates and fades away into nothing. So obviously Eddie is kind of freaked out at this, goes back to Earth, and we see on Earth that he's trying to warn Dylan about something, about this, threat, basically that just happened to him. And, the threat's very much aimed towards Dylan too. Obviously he wants to keep Dylan safe in case something does happen. So he tries to warn him, tells him to basically meet me at this hotel. Dylan scrambles, gets packed, goes to meet him at this hotel, gets to the hotel, and basically this helicopter, like military, I don't know who it was, shows up and blows up the hotel with a missile and kills Eddie. Now this happened right in front of Dylan. And, throughout this and throughout the book, it was mentioned, and, basically, it's Eddie telling Dylan, never bond with the symbiote. And Venom actually shows up there. Venom, there a couple times in the book, Eddie asked Dylan, have you seen Venom? Where is he? Eddie's like, I don't know, But Venom is actually at this scene. You kind of see him. He's kind of like disguised. He's wearing a ball cap, and so Dylan does what his dad tells him not to, and he bonds with Venom. Now this was after his dad's death. So basically, he's very angry, and throughout this issue, you'll see that he's just kind of like the messed up teenager, getting in fights a lot at school. His dad's not really around, so he's kind of dealing with that. And you see he's got some issues throughout the throughout the story. So he ends up bonding with Venom and basically goes on a killing rampage to basically let out all of his anger. Anger that his father was just killed, anger about his school, about he doesn't really have friends. He's getting in a lot of fights. The principal at his school is threatening to expel him if he doesn't talk to his dad, which Eddie was missing. He was out in space doing whatever with the symbiotes for a long period of time, so no one's been able to get a hold of him, not even Dylan. So he's threatening to get kicked out of school, getting in a lot of fights, no friends, just kind of overall kind of having a bad time of his life. Now his father's dead. So he ends up bonding with Venom and takes his anger out on these soldiers that just killed his father, basically. So we see after Eddie's death, we kind of get a couple pages where after his death, he meets this character called Meridius. I don't know how to exactly pronounce it, but that's kind of where the book leaves off. He kind of meets him, and there's like a page where like you can see like, oh, this was all that like the soldiers found from the after effects of Eddie being dead. They found a skull, and it's presumably Eddie's skull. So we see that Eddie is dead, and then he goes and meets this character Meridius. So that's just a real quick overview of issue 1. I know there's a lot more to it, but I wanted to be kind of quick here. So like I said, the artist is Brian Hitch. Now the art's good. I wouldn't call the art great. They're trying to do like a horror-ish kind of feel to this book, especially with Ram V being one of the authors, who's a great horror author. And even it's good. There's some realism to it. There's some nice color. There's some nice, your typical Venom, like giant double splash pages of, a cool Venom pose. And it's definitely, the art is good. It didn't stand out to me in any particular way. I wouldn't say it's fantastic. That's just my opinion. But it does what it needs to do. So I'll give the art a good rating. Not great, not spectacular, but good. It could be better, but it's not bad. Now, as for the writing of this, like I said, there is 2 authors, and especially with the 2 authors are writing the 2 main characters. So one author is writing Eddie, one author is writing Dylan, and you definitely get the different styles. So you get the 2 distinct styles of the different writers at the same time, which is cool. But at the same time, you're also getting like the symbiote kind of, the symbiotes are talking as well. So you get little symbiote bubbles that there's also, so there's basically like 3 or 4 different like dialogues almost going on at the same time. And with the 2 writers going at the same time with different characters, to me it got kind of hectic, and I a few times got kind of lost, like, oh wait, is that him? And there's a symbiote up here talking, and then I got Eddie, and then I got Dylan, and another symbiote, and so at times it did get a little confusing, especially because there's just 4 distinct kind of conversations almost going on at the same time. So it could get a little hectic. But overall, it wasn't too confusing. The writing was good. Like I said, I like Ram V. Ram V is a great author, in my opinion. So the writing's definitely good, and I'm not going to knock the book about the writing, because to me the writing is good. I just don't know where the book is exactly going yet. So they didn't really have a clear like path yet of where it's going. Like I said, this is only the first issue, so I'm sure these guys will kind of get into what they're doing soon. But there's really no clear direction yet. All we know is that Eddie's dead, and we have his son, who's just basically going on a killing spree right now, bonded with Venom. So I hope this book turns out good. It wasn't my favorite book. I'm a Venom fan. I'm not a giant Venom fan, but I do like Venom. To me, I felt like it could have been better. But I'm not sure. I'll have to give it another shot, maybe a couple more issues, to really kind of get into the story. like I said, just wasn't my favorite book. I didn't hate it, but it also was like a 50-page book. I think it was like 47 pages. So it is kind of longer. But there are some like big double splash pages and, big art pages that are tossed in there too, which are cool. But it was just a long book, and coming from where the previous run ended, it was nice that they're actually continuing that story. I didn't want them to just start a new story with Venom, so I like that they're continuing that. So I like that they're building continuity with that, because this can be a good story. I think it will be a good story. Like I said, I just don't know where it's going yet. But yeah, overall, my thoughts on this book, like I said, wasn't my favorite, but I didn't hate it. If I was rating this book out of 10, I'd probably give it, I'll give it an even, no, I'll probably give it a 6.5 out of 10, which sounds kind of harsh, but it's not as bad as that number's making it out to seem. It was a decent book. It just wasn't my favorite. But like I said, I want to see where it's going. Maybe it just could be it's the first issue and they're building up to something. I think Comic Book Roundup had this book rated, I think the critic rating was like 8.6, so that I think is a bit high. But I mean, it's to each his own. Some people are going to really like it. Some people aren't going to like it. I've seen some bad reviews on this book, and I see some 10 out of 10 reviews on this book. But I'm going to call mine somewhere in the middle at 6.5. And I think that's fair. But, it's only the first issue, so we'll see where this book goes from there. So yeah, once again, this is the 2021 new Venom run, #1, which is not really a #1, but it is a #1 because it's new authors, new artists, but they're continuing the storyline, so it is a new #1. And I think they did that because with the new Venom movie coming out too, it was kind of like, oh, let's start it over, but not really start it over. We'll time it with the new Venom movie coming out. But like I said, I like that they're continuing the story. So that's going to really be it on this Venom. We'll see how it goes. I might do another video after the next couple issues, kind of maybe give an update and maybe, raise my score on this book. Like I said, 6.5 out of 10. Sounds harsh, but we'll see. We'll see where it goes. Just it didn't do it for me. It wasn't my favorite. So yeah, that's going to be it for me today, guys. Venom #1, 2021. Like and subscribe. I'm getting decent amount of views on my videos, which I'm super happy about. Like and follow me on Instagram, FCY Comics 216. Also on the Whatnot app, trying to get more followers on the Whatnot app to become a live seller on that too. So thank you guys for watching, and I will probably post another video tomorrow and maybe do another book review. Thinking I'm either going to do the first issue of the new Hulk run, or maybe even the new Batman and Robin comic that just came out. I think that's a limited series. I think 6 or 8 books. I haven't read the first issue yet, but I'm planning on reading that tonight. So I might do either the Hulk or that book, or I might do both, 2 separate videos. So we'll see on that. So once again, thank you guys for watching. I'm Mike with FCY Comics 216. We'll see you later. Thank you.